Hello everybody, welcome to the Football Daily Weekly. Lovely to see you here. Kristan Heneage is here, journalist from the northeast of England, and Dave, of course, is here as well. We're going to be previewing tonight's Champions League matches. Good to have you back, Kristan. We got some comments about you making your debut last week.
Nice.
There's one that says, looks like you've beaten the shit out of the new guy and then forced him to be on the show.
Nope, came of my own accord.
Yeah, okie dokes. Why does the new guy look so awkward? Was it that I had my hand on your leg last week that was the awkwardness? Perhaps it was me. New guy was good. Hopefully he will be on again. Well, here he is, right here. I like this new guy. Bring him in more often. Some people are getting a little bit jealous.
Yourselves.
First up, we're going to be talking about Juve versus Dortmund. The hipster's choice, is it, Dave?
I'd say so, yeah. I think Dortmund are really starting to hit a bit of form in the Bundesliga. They've picked up 3 wins in the last 3 games.
Yep.
So before that period, in 19 games, they'd scored 18 goals. And in those 3 games, now they've scored 10 goals.
How's about that? They're on form, Kristan.
Yeah, Juventus aren't, that's the problem.
Yes.
They really struggled against Atalanta on Friday night. It was a 2-1 win ultimately, but the performance was not very good. And I think what's interesting is there's a lot of talk about Pogba as well, contributing more, getting more goals, being more influential. They are positive on him on the whole. They think he can be this world-class midfielder. Allegri speaks very positively of him, but he wants more from him ultimately.
Yeah, you've said that before, Dave, about Pogba.
I have said that before, and I think he's underutilised in his position in the current system. He's used as a shuttler at the moment, and Pereira's behind the two strikers. And I'd say put Pogba at number 10.
Yeah.
I think that's where he'd get more of the ball in attacking areas where he could change the game.
What about Dortmund then? I mean, how would you see them lining up? I mean, Royce is obviously their key man.
Yeah, I think they've hit a little bit of form of, like I said before, they've hit form with this. They're playing, Aubameyang up front,
which has changed things.
Scored or assisted 50% of Dortmund's goals in the last 3 games. 4 goals, 1 assist.
Will it be enough to win the game, Dave? Let's have a prediction out of you.
Yes, definitely. I think Dortmund.
They'll win away.
I think they'll win away. Maybe 3-2. High scoring
3-2.
game.
Kristan.
I'm going to disagree again.
Oh yeah.
Just because. No, I think Juventus have got this. I think they're very strong at home. I think Dortmund, while they're in good form, they've also had the blessing of playing teams like Stuttgart, who are terrible, to be blunt about it. And I think Juventus are a much sterner test for them.
And it's going to be?
I think it's going to be 2-1 Juventus.
I'm going to agree, actually. That's what I had in my head. But I'd rather you be right, because it would be a more entertaining game, arguably, with more goals. Manchester City are playing Barcelona at home. We've seen them before, Kristan, play each other in the Champions League when Di Michelis was sent off, which was a bit of a shame. And then Barcelona went on to win, I think 2-0 it was, that game, and really sort of kill off the tie effectively. Will that happen again, or do you think Man City can pull something out the bag?
I think Man City will not do very well here. And I say that because the weekend was a hugely misleading game because Newcastle are atrocious, to be blunt about it. And I think Barcelona
lost.
I think that front 3 will cause so many problems. We saw in the group stages with City Dumbia, that pace, how devastating that was. And Pontus Wernbloom totally just deconstructed City and said, look, they give way too much space in behind. The midfield isn't tight enough. And I think a team like Barcelona will exploit that to much greater extent than CSK Moscow could, just because the players are significantly better.
Dave, Barcelona are playing a slightly different way, of course, these days, with not so much the classic passing side that we saw under Guardiola and maybe even Frank Rijkaard. But they're still putting in performances despite the 1-0 loss on the weekend. They won the previous 11 or something like that. Do you think City can find ways to get amongst them?
I think Barcelona may give the ball to City and let them dictate the play. And then Barcelona hit them on the break with the 3 of Neymar, Suarez and Messi, and that could be, but rampant. No, Messi scored the second most goals in the Champions League this season. He's ahead of Harry Kane as the best player in Europe's top 5 leagues in 2015.
Well, if he's better than Harry Kane, then he must be magnificent.
Then, yeah, there you go. But I think with what City are going to lack is Yaya Toure. Yaya Toure came back. He's suspended for the game. He came back against Newcastle and was brilliant. You look at 3 of the goals came from a Yaya Toure pass that went to a Silva or to a Nasri or to Aguero, who would then assist the goal. And that's what Yaya Toure does so well, is find those attacking players. And without him in their side, I think City do lack a lot. I'd put James Milner in there instead of Yaya Toure and get him to try and play that role. But I do think Barca are going to sit back and they'll smash them on the break.
I think that's where the 2 Brazilians have to come in and really do something here, because Fernandinho costs £34 million. That's a lot of money. And for me, he doesn't do enough in that hole and sitting there doing it. Same with Fernando. Again, I think he gets away with the fact that he's a defensive midfielder. So as long as he defends, as long as he breaks it up, then he's doing his job. No, I think defensive midfielders should be like Busquets, funnily enough, on the opposite side of things. They should contribute on both sides of the ball. And this idea that you can get away with doing one is ridiculous. ridiculous to me. I think we should have to do more,
So,
especially because that much.
so do you think Man City should try and be more solid, really? Because we've seen them, against Arsenal and other teams. They go to the Etihad, as Dave says, and they give Man City the ball and then hunt in packs going forward, and it kind of works. And Barcelona are playing that style this season. So do you think Manchester City are going to have to think to themselves, hang on a minute here, maybe we'll have to try and stop the opposition playing?
I think they need to be more compact without the ball, ultimately, but then also more expansive with the ball. Because to me, it seems like they almost play in phases. It has to get to the Silvas, the Nasris, and these players in the final third for the attacking impetus to begin. That's not, for me, how a midfield works. The entirety of the midfield should contribute to that end goal of scoring the goal, not just one or two players, because then you become easier to nullify, and ultimately you end up losing the game. That's the benefit of Barcelona, is its fluency and danger from all angles.
A prediction, Dave?
I think I'm going to go with a 3-2 City win again. I think there's going to be a lot of goals in the Champions League on Tuesday night, so tune in.
2-3-2s.
I think 2-1 Barcelona.
Yeah. I think 1-1. I think Manchester City will get a draw and carry a bit of hope to the new camp. So, we shall see. Let us know in the comments below what you think the scores will be for tonight's games. Thanks very much to Dave and Kristan. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you tomorrow for the preview for the Wednesday's Champions League games.